Good afternoon, everyone. Tony Laporta here with TonyLaporta.com. Anyhow, this video, webcast, whatever you want to call it, is probably going to be all over the shop. But to get my point across, looking forward with regard to the economy in the U.S. and the world, I do believe we're heading into a deep recession. But let's touch on a few things first. Basically, at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I remember writing to my clients about the rally that reminded me very much of the tech bubble, where you knew the NASDAQ back then, even though it was trading 3,000, you knew it was a bubble, but it went to 4,000 and 5,000 before it finally came off. And when it came off really hard, really fast. And when we got there, the middle of February, with regard to the markets and the S&Ps traded up to a high of 33.97. Everyone was talking about the S&Ps trading to 3,400. Everyone was talking about the Dow trading to 30,000. And there were no bears left. Everyone owned calls. Complacency ran wild. Life is great. I mean, it's just going through the roof. And then on February 20th, the Chinese made an announcement about coronavirus. And on that day, I'm writing my clients, I'm looking for a reason to get short. And on that day, on the 20th, the S&Ps closed at 33.69. To put it all into perspective, they closed today at 26.84. The Dow on that day closed at 29,220. I'm almost 100% sure that it was on that Friday that I got short. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to get short a 10 lot and not overtrade, because I always overtrade, and then when the market comes back against me, I can't take the heat or whatever. So I thought having 10 contracts on was not overtrading. But what I really felt on that day was, especially on that Friday, and I remember writing about this to my clients, was that what could possibly go on over the weekend with regard to China and the coronavirus and everything that was in the early days of being reported reminded me a lot of the Japanese tsunami in 2011, where the tsunami hit on a Friday, and by Wednesday the stock market was down 10, 15, 20%, whatever it was. But over that weekend is when I just felt that you needed to be short, because when the dust settled with this tsunami and the nuclear issues that they were having, that it would get ugly, and it did get ugly. But it didn't last long. But with this virus thing, it just seemed like, to me, it was going to be different. And the market, and if you think about the stock market, for 11 years, the market has rallied from basically March 9th, 2009. And for 11 years, the stock market rallied on, what did it rally on? Central bank stimulus via, in some parts of the world, negative interest rates, historically low interest rates, and then quantitative easing. It was titled for 11 years the most hated rally. And I'm looking for a reason to be short, and then I get it. And have I stayed short for the whole 900-point sell-off? No way. And the reason why was because I was short too many. Because all of a sudden we're having 150-point squeezes, and one minute you go from having on a trade a swing trade you're trying to run, you're going from having a $70,000 to $80,000 profit to like a $40,000 profit. And it's like, I've got to take my profits here somewhere. To make a long story short, I do believe, seeing what we're seeing now, and I have a theory about all this, And the theory goes back to, the baby boomers, more than anything, the baby boomers. You got the Gen X, Gen Ys, Gen Zs, millennials, but the baby boomers, since we were born, and a lot of you that are watching this are baby boomers. Since we were born, we were marketed to. We were the biggest age group out there. And I'm not 100% sure if we are. But one thing I do know about the baby boomers is a lot of them our age are either retired or close to retirement. And what I know about the baby boomers, as compared to all the Gen X's and everything, we've got all the money. And another thing I know about the baby boomers and corona disease is we are the ones most susceptible to die from this. So now that we're beginning to see, what's happening in Italy and France and Spain and soon to be Germany, and Austria just announced they're shutting things down. The UK is on the verge of it. What we're seeing there is what we've finally decided to start doing here. Social distancing, they call it. But what's happening? Really, what's happening? The airline industry is going to pot. Soon, if not already, the restaurants are going to pot. And what's really happening here? People are losing their jobs. Now the federal government came out and said that, everyone's going to be paid and this and that. Okay, so who do I write to if I lost my job? And how long do I have to wait for that check? And is my bank going to let me miss a couple of mortgage payments? Is my credit card going to let me miss a couple of mortgage payments? If I haven't saved my money, how much money do I have to live on? Most people in this country live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm even talking baby boomers, if they haven't saved their money. And so to put it all into, and I hate that, but to just think outside the box here. If I know I started 2 weeks ago, and I thought I was being a little bit over the top by going out and buying soup and buying rice and buying pasta. I even have enough toilet paper, don't know why. Haven't bought any water. I don't understand why people are buying water, but they're buying water too. But I started 2 weeks ago, and now I'm ready. And why am I ready? Because I'll be 64 years old in July, and I really don't want to take the chance of getting this disease, so I'm going to hunker down. And guess what? All the other baby boomers with all the money, with regard to all the age groups, what are they going to be doing? They're going to hunker down as well, because we've worked our whole life to get to this stage where we're retired, and we don't want to die. The medicine these days are keeping us alive for another 20, 30 years. And we don't want something like this to take us down. So we're going to hunker down. What does hunkering down look like? We're not spending any money. And if we're not spending any money, that means layoffs are coming. I've already heard of, a gentleman in Chicago who's been offered half pay or get laid off. He's got a new condo, new car. 60-year-old man. Soon, if people can't afford to pay their mortgages, what's going to happen? This is going to be 2008 again, where the banks are going to go back into the home ownership because homes are going to go into foreclosure and they're going to have homes on their books again. The difference now in 2008 is interest rates are at historically low levels. They kept them, the Fed, Bernanke, Yellen, Draghi in Europe. They had a chance for 10 years, 8 years to start ratcheting up interest rates in case when the next issue happened. And now it's here, and they've run out of bullets. So they're just going to have to open up the printing presses. This is the point I'm trying to make here. I started in this business in January 1979. I traded the crash of 87. That was basically a 4-day, 30% panic. I traded the mini crash in 1991 when Iraq invaded Kuwait. Same thing. Maybe a 1 month sort of thing. I mean, at that time, the price of crude oil went from $20 a barrel up to $40 a barrel. The minute the United States got involved, started bombing Iraq, that was it. Within 3 days, the price of crude oil went from $40 a barrel back down to $20 a barrel. The United States is all of a sudden fighting Iraq. War's over. I traded the dot-com bubble. I mean, that was crazy. That was absolute craziness. I'll deliver your groceries.com. Debuts at supposed to open up at $7 a share and runs all the way up to $70 a share. Within 3 months, they're out of business. And then, of course, the Great Recession. And the thing about the Great Recession was months and months and months in advance, the yield curve had inverted. And the people with my kind of years, and this is my 41st year in the business, the people we kept on saying, inverted yield curve, this is not good. Art Cashin on from the floor of the stock exchange. He's got more years in the business than I do. Inverted yield curve, not good. The younger generation that lets their computer tell them how to trade, their computer's telling them it'll be different this time. Well, it wasn't. But let's fast forward to where we are today and where the stock market is today. And let's think about every Tom, Dick, and Harry that they bring out on the television. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Are you kidding me? We've had, there's two emotions that one brings into play when it comes to the stock market. Fear and greed. Greed and fear. We've had 11 years of greed. We've had the market go up straight for 11 years. It got near the top, and I have friends, oh God, this is so good. Life is so good. They retired and they're still making money. I mean, life is so good. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Everyone wants to buy the dip. We've had 11 years of greed. We've had 3 weeks of fear. 3 weeks of fear. And they want to buy the dip. I don't think so. Hello, Madonna. I don't think so. I don't even think we're close to a bottom. And if they say every recession is minimum 20%. But through all the times I've seen the market go down in a significant manner, it's always been on one little thing or another little thing. Right now, it's not a little thing. This is the world. This is a world pandemic. This is fear all around the world. And this is people, they're shutting countries down. That means, and one of the biggest problems that they've cited for years and years has been the banks in Europe. Now they've shut down Italy. They're going to shut down Spain. They closed restaurants. France. It's going to happen all over. There's going to be issues there. Huge issues there. And because the world is so interconnected, it's just going to be a disaster all over. And there was a time early in this, people were saying, well, we're going to use Wall Street as a flight to safety type product. We'll put our money there. Well, all of a sudden, America's been in denial over this, and we still don't have enough. They're testing 10,000 people a day in South Korea. We don't even have all the tests out all over the country yet. There's people sharing the corona love that don't even know they have it yet. And in 2 weeks' time, I think we started social distancing too late, and in my opinion, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get a lot worse. You listen to the medical experts, it's going to get a lot worse. Listen to the medical experts. What I'm trying to basically say here is think about the financial and psychological hit people are going to be taking. And everyone wants to buy the dip. They think we're going to get a V-turn in the market. I don't think so. First off, we haven't stopped coming off yet. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if we took back at least half of the rally that started in March of 2009. What was that? 666, something like that. From 666 up to 3,000. Halfway back is 1,200 of that. So 18,000 in the Dow. Right now the Dow closed at 23,000. 18,000. That's another 20% lower, and that could happen this week. I mean, the way these markets are moving, I know I have an app on my phone that registers where the markets are trading overnight. The Dow is already called tonight when Globex opens 5% lower. So we are a long way from this, and we've been having, my trade room people have cut back. They started trading micro S&Ps because of the volatility. But I've got some really good professional traders in there now, and we're making money. I mean, honestly, we're making money. It's not an easy trade by no means. You can't just walk in there and think, I'll put up $5,000 and have a trade because of the volatility. But there's trades out there, and more than anything else, we're putting good insight. I've been putting really good insight into this. I don't think we're anywhere close to being done. I think America is going into a deep, deep recession, along with the rest of the world. Because after we dig ourselves out from this, we are going to be psychologically and financially bankrupt. And people are gonna pull in the reins. I mean, the baby boomers have pulled in the, after they get stocked up with everything they need to live on the next 2 months, that's it. They're pulling in the reins. What I truly miss right now is going out to dinner. I love to go out to dinner. I work hard. I treat myself by going out to dinner. I'm not going out to dinner. Why take a chance? What, some cook has got it and I'm going to ingest it? No, I don't think so. But if you're a millennial, well, you know what? If you get it, no big deal. It's like getting the flu. Well, I don't know if it is or if it isn't. Why take the chance? But I don't know where I'm going to go with this. Anyhow, there's in the email, there's obviously a $17 2-week trial link. You can take a shot, I mean, it's $17, I mean, you're going to be sitting at home anyhow. My service, I don't pull any punches. If you come into my trade room, we're dropping F-bombs in there all day long. So, we're definitely not messing around in there. I've got some really great traders in there. People who used to be my clients, but I don't even make them pay me anymore because I realized that they were screen traders. There's myself and one of my English mates that were the only ever pit traders in the room. The rest of the who I consider professionals, grew up trading on the screen, and they're good, and they're really good. So if you'd like, come have a look. And if not, just take notice that you don't want to buy the dip. Not for a long time. You don't want to buy the dip because the whole world is going to be psychologically and financially bankrupt for a while. And there's far too many people in this country who are living paycheck to paycheck. And I think about these millennials that are changing jobs every year. Oh, I got a new job. Just, I'll find it in my phone. And all of a sudden they may lose their job. And, I'll just go find another job. Hold on, let me get my phone out. Oh, yeah, there we go. Here, I'm going to apply for this job. Okay, yeah, we'll hire you. We'll give you $50,000 a year. Oh, I beg your pardon. Don't you know who I am? $50,000? I was making $250,000 before. Yeah, we're offering you $50,000. You want the job or don't you want the job? And that's what it's going to be. Jobs are supply and demand as well. So the bottom of the food chain's going first. Your flight attendants. I got an article that Norwegian Air just laid off half of their staff. So, we've got schools closing down around America. That means parents are going to be having to stay home from work to look after their kids, if their kids are young enough to not look after themselves. And then they got to hope that the government, someone sends them a check, because the government promised them that they're going to get a check. How long is it going to take? That's what they got to hope for. And the longer it goes on, I don't even want to get political, but the longer this goes on, and the more severe it gets, and I put a link in there with a writing from Italy, doctors from Italy, the more severe, because they ignored it. And it's kind of like what we've done in our country, and we've ignored it. People are too complacent about this. And like I've been trying to say, this sell-off, and I've seen 4 major sell-offs, 5 major sell-offs, something like that on Wall Street. None of them were killing people. This one's killing people, and this one is fear. And Wall Street has never liked uncertainty. There is uncertainty, incredible uncertainty right now. And we haven't even shut our country down yet. That's coming next. So, we've shut all the sports down. We've shut the theaters down. They're shutting everything down. And I don't know. Just take notice and don't blow it off. And if you want to come in and have a look at my service, I write every night. In the morning, I do my early morning thoughts. I do a morning webcast. I do my pre-workout thoughts. And then I write my commentary. If I have any swing trades, I put them in. I put my swing trade in, at the end of the day, the S&Ps rallied 300 handles off their lows of the move. That was a 12% rally. And what have I been writing the last 3 or 4 weekends? It's going to be another coronavirus weekend. And it is. And the Dow is called 1,000 lower tonight. So that's all I have. You want to make some money. You want to have some fun. It's a $17 trial. Well, it's a no-brainer. That's all I have. Cheers.